Welcome, everyone. I feel like I have like this big audience. So hey Brian, wish you were here, my friend. So I am so excited for you guys to be here today. A lot of you have probably seen some of my posts on Facebook about nutrigenomics and NRF2 activation. A couple of you guys are already on the product, so you know what we're talking about, but I invited you here to learn a little bit more of the science. And I'm really excited to have Christy here all the way from Colorado. Christy has spent the last 20 years hearing people's stories about their problems. She's a medical esthetician and she had a holistic clinic for a few years, and she has been studying about cancer prevention, and she's actually studied about oxidative stress before a lot of us even knew what it was. So she saw this company and what we had to offer and is doing it as a business. So she came here from Colorado to kind of share with all of you guys a little bit about what nutrigenomics is, a little more in detail. So I'm really excited to have Christy here. So Christy, so it's not like, it's not a very long presentation, but I think you guys will find it quite interesting.
Hi guys, thank you. Gosh, it's Thursday afternoon, really. Thank you for taking the time to come and check this out. We appreciate it. Sherry's been working so hard at getting this all together, so thank you, Sherry. Yes, I'm from Colorado. I have 4 kids, 3 grandkids. I've been in anti-aging for 23 years, and I'm 85. And so our products work really well. And so what I did, I started out 23 years ago doing medical aesthetics, and just doing expensive treatments on people's skin, using expensive lasers, and I'm just listening to their stories. And it didn't take me long to realize, wow, like it doesn't matter how old you are, your gender, how much money you have, people have really the same concerns. Concerns about aging, concerns about getting disease, maybe a loved one just recently got diagnosed with a disease. People know that they're not eating well. They know they're not exercising like they should. They are not sleeping well. Hormones are out of whack. Like even just today, in a 5-minute conversation, I'm hearing a lot of this already. And so then I started really making a connection to what I was hearing, to what I was actually seeing on the skin. It was fascinating. Then I was really fortunate to work for an anti-aging physician who sent us to an A4M medical conference. It's conferences that for physicians that practice anti-aging, which back in like preventative medicine, which 18 years ago wasn't a big deal or a big thing, but now more and more physicians are practicing it, thank goodness. But I heard about oxidative stress and inflammation. They were just discovering it as like being the root of all disease out there. Every disease had that common root cause was oxidative stress and inflammation. And they were saying, I'm an athlete, they were saying like even exercise, right? Your cells need a lot more oxygen, so they're creating actually more oxidative stress. And if we're not nourishing our bodies correctly, and if we're not recovering properly, it's going to catch up to us. So then I read the book, The China Study, which is the largest epidemiological study ever done on cancer. And it's all, and then my dad kind of paralleled to me. He's a physician 2 hours away from where I live, and family physician, and he has heart disease, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and depression, all in his family. And he wanted to change the course of his genetics, right? Everyone blames their genetics and everything, but he had learned that you can actually change the course of genetics through diet and lifestyle. So he started a stroke and heart attack prevention center. So fast forward, he and I together partnered, and I did a preventative skin clinic, where we're doing cancer prevention, heart disease prevention, and cosmetic dermatology all under one roof. I lost the clinic to a business partner after we're up and running and doing really well. So then I heard about LifeVantage. I was meant to be here because it's like full circle, right? Coming back to our flagship product that reduces oxidative stress and inflammation through plant food. It's like, and I've been with LifeVantage for 2.5 years, and it's been the most fulfilling work I've ever done because of the story, the lives that we're changing, both health-wise and both financially as well. So that is my story. And what's really exciting is that people are And I know you might not be able to see all of this, but people are starting to become more savvy because they know what we've been doing all these years has not been working. So people are starting to do their research, and I love it. And I've just seen it like a shift in the last couple of years. So if I were to just to say that, this is my new
I failed. My Vanna White.
If I were to say that this little guy here that has 5 plant ingredients, that's it, right? A study was done for 10 years by our National Institutes of Aging. It's a government program, and their whole objective is to figure out ways that Americans can live healthier, can live longer. So they studied things that were supposed to be kind of healthy, like turmeric by itself, green tea by itself, resveratrol, MCT, like the MCT oil that's used right now, medium chain triglycerides, and Protandim, because of the history and the science already backing this Protandim. They studied it for 10 years, federally funded. Our taxpayer dollars went into it. In 2015, they came out with a report that said Protandim is the only thing they've studied yet so far that actually extends life by 7% in male mammals. That's an average of 4 to 6 years in a human being, like quality of life. And it's only $40. Like, would you take it? And I seriously think that's all I should say, and like the presentation's over, like, but I'll go into more science for you. So it's all about nutrigenomics. Remember I was saying you can actually change gene expression, so you can actually take like plant compounds and nutrition and food and create a synergy with it to change gene expression, especially when it comes to the treatment and prevention of disease. So it's a huge term out there right now. It was on the Today Show a few months ago. It was on Fox News. It's projected to reach $17 billion in 4 years by the year 2023, nutrigenomics. The really cool thing is this guy here was formulated in 2003. This is nutrigenomics. So we're so far ahead of the game. Like there's companies trying to figure out, a way to have a plant-based synergy to change gene expression. They can't use this formula because it's patented. So we are so far ahead of the game. It's super, super exciting. So we love that this has been out in the news already. And this has just been since the 2 years I've been with LifeVantage. So why is disease on the rise? That has been a question. When I was on this girls' trip just a few days ago in Inglewood, one of my girlfriends, we're all in our 50s, she said she just got a text from her 4th girlfriend who has breast cancer. And so we're talking about like, why is cancer on the rise? And she was saying the stats have changed from 1 in 4 women to 2 in 4 women. So if you look around and think about everyone you know, 2 out of 4. I haven't verified those stats, but that's what she was saying, which is super scary. I mean, I know, and a lot of it, we know why it is on the rise, because we are exposed to more and more toxins than ever before, and our bodies cannot keep up with the healing processes. If you think about like our grandparents and our great-grandparents, they lived more off the land. They were growing their own, fruits and vegetables. They were eating from farms that were just more local. They didn't have all the packaged foods, all the processed foods. They were outdoors more, kind of physically being more exercised. And they just weren't as stressed as we are. Like everybody is stressed and busy, and they're not eating right, they're not exercising. And then of course all of the like EMFs, like electromagnetic, from our phones and our computers and our microwaves being heated up and all of that. So we're just bombarded with more and more toxins. That's all it is, and our bodies can't keep up. What most people are doing is they're taking vitamins and supplements and oils and herbs and all sorts of things. Some of them, might be good, some of them not so good. Like our multivitamins and our antioxidant vitamins like A, C, and E are actually doing more harm to our bodies than good. Like to our liver, and our other organs, because our bodies can't process like high doses of vitamins A and C. Like it is meant to have food, nourishment from food, right? So what we're talking about, like, because this is in a pill form, it's not a vitamin, it's not a supplement. So let's just, that's old school supplementation. This is new school activation. We're taking things our bodies recognize that activates our body's own natural healing and defense mechanisms, truly. So this is a chart that has, every disease you can possibly think of. And basically all I'm trying to say in here is that we're exposed to more and more toxins. They're kicking in free radicals, right? So we get free radical damage attacking our cells, creating oxidative stress, or like rusting of our cells, which is the root of inflammation, which is at the root of all diseases. So if you think of diseases of the brain like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, just migraine, depression, anxiety, heart disease, kidneys, skin, think about like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, skin cancers, wrinkles, even pigment. That's all from inflammation coming from within. Organ diseases, joints, eyes, lungs, again, root cause oxidative stress. So how do we neutralize oxidative stress? Through antioxidants. So the only antioxidants our bodies recognize are antioxidants through food, right? So what foods contain antioxidants? Can you give me like a category?
Fruits, vegetables.
Yeah? No. Yeah, fruits and vegetables. Thank you for not saying salmon and yogurt and yeah. We have a big job to do because we get that a lot, right? So if you think about it, it's food that Mother Nature provides for us, right? That it's grown from the earth, fruits and vegetables and grains and beans and legumes. Don't be afraid of grains. They have antioxidants in it, like really good, true grains. So we're making millions of free radicals every single minute, every single day. One antioxidant in a plant-based food helps to protect one free radical, so 1-to-1 ratio. So say a carton of blueberries has like 12,000 antioxidants in them. If you eat a whole carton of blueberries, that's great. It's good. They're good for you, but it's neutralizing 12,000 free radicals. It sounds like a lot, but when we're making millions, right, it's not a lot. And that's why we say eat lots and lots and lots of plant-based foods. Different colors, different varieties, because they all have these phytonutrients in them. They're, antioxidant benefits, foods that are in season. However, when we take this guy, which is a NRF2 activator, and I'll get into more detail, it is kicking in every one of our cells to crank out their own antioxidants. So it's different than eating antioxidants. So it's neutralizing 1 million free radicals every single minute of every single day. So it's 1 to 1 million versus 1 to 1 in a fruit and vegetable. So Protandim, 5 plant ingredients, and a lot of people, oh my gosh, are like buying turmeric off the shelf and just trying to sprinkle it into everything. Why are you take turmeric, right? And drinking green tea, go to Starbucks, it's like, oh my gosh, green tea is like grown crazy now, right? Because everyone's into green tea, sprayed with all sorts of stuff. I'm sure turmeric is too, right? Not picked properly, not in the right environment, so we're not really getting the nutrition benefits from it. Ashwagandha root, bacopa, and milk thistle. So individually, they're great plant ingredients, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory benefits. But the magic is all 5 in their different ratios that's patented, compressed into this little yellow pill. It's yellow because of all the turmeric. And it becomes a NRF2 activator. So it's reducing oxidative stress by 40% in the first 30 days. And that's proven. Every test that they've done, 100% of the people, 100% of the time, have had their oxidative stress levels reduced by at least 40% in the first month. And it has a cumulative effect. So the sooner you start taking it, the more long-term benefits you have, period. There's 7 patents on it, like I said, and there are 25 now peer-reviewed published studies on Protandim. So I'm going to show, you probably have all seen this, but it's always good to see it again. It's a 6-minute video that really gives a third-party validation.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is a bit exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, And for me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
And it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, Doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. So you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. What would happen on me?
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would.
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks,
Even mental disease,
yes,
depression.
Alzheimer's disease, depression. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
I love that.
Me too.
For sure. So again, Protandim was formulated in 2003. In 2005, John Quinones went to probably go debunk the theory, right? So he did this interview. What happened was there were a lot of other, scientists and doctors and research institutions watching this program. And so they started doing their own self-funded study on Protandim, and that's what is so unique about us. And Protandim was owned by a little biotech company at the time, just a few physicians. And, they had this huge, it was on retail shelves, like CVS Pharmacy, GNC, sold for $50. And they had this huge influx of sales, like $5 million in sales after this report. And then it piddled out and just kind of died out. And the problem was, people were not sharing the story. The kid making $8 an hour at CVS Pharmacy is not going to sit there and explain for 10 minutes how this is different than anything else out there on the shelves. So in 2009, the company decided to push it through a network of people, which is what we're doing right here. And these are some of the institutions that have studied Protandim: American Heart Association, Ohio State, National Institutes of Aging, like I mentioned, UC Denver, and these are published on PubMed.gov. So PubMed.gov is our U.S. Library of Medicine, National Institutes of Health. If you go, healthcare providers go there to look at studies. So if you go there and you type in the search bar oxidative stress, you're going to see over 100,000 studies done on oxidative stress, associating it with disease. And if you type in mitochondrial dysfunction, because I'm going to talk about that in a minute, you're going to see it's kind of the same thing, thousands of studies associating mitochondrial dysfunction with disease. And then you type in Protandim, there are 25 published studies there. There's one on multiple sclerosis that's really amazing. As a matter of fact, Biogen is a pharmaceutical company, and they make BG12, which is like a Tecfidera, it's a synthetic MS drug, $50,000 a year. And in their own study, there's a disclaimer at the bottom that says, yes, Biogen BG12 helps to protect the myelin sheath of the nerve in MS patients. However, there's a plant-based product called Protandim, it's $40 a month that does the same thing, if not better. So there's another study on osteoarthritis, the lifespan that the National Institutes of Aging did is on here as well. So really great study. So if you're a studier, you can go look at that. But again, it's other physicians, other scientists, and experts in their field that have studied this over and over and over again. So moving on, we've got Protandim Nerf1. So the company's like, okay, we now have something that's plant-based that can address the number one cause of aging disease. So what's the second cause? It's the breakdown of our mitochondria. So if you remember from 7th grade science, or maybe not, maybe your kids are taking science now, but they talk about the mitochondria being the brain, the powerhouse of our cells. And just by normal aging, by being exposed to oxidative stress and medications and trauma, the mitochondria start to break down. And that's the second leading cause of aging disease. So this contains 5 different plant ingredients. Again, you might already be trying to take like alpha-lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, resveratrol, which is that great skin extract, right? So 5 synergistic to rebuild the mitochondria in our cells for creating cellular energy. So yes, I take mine at night because I just in my head I'm thinking, okay, my cells are repairing as I'm sleeping. So again, it's activating our body's natural healing defense mechanisms. And then just moving on to what we call the vitality stack that has the Nerf2, the Nerf1. There's 4 things. The probiotic is the 4th thing. So how many people are just naturally taking probiotic anyway? Like they go to the vitamin, yeah. So most people are taking a probiotic because they know our guts are unhealthy, and you know that all disease starts here in the gut. And there has been many studies recently that is showing poor gut health to poor brain health, poor gut health to weight gain, poor gut health to just lethargy and autoimmune diseases. And if our guts are unhealthy, we're not absorbing good nutrition. And I was actually just told, I had to be on a course of antibiotics last summer because my tooth broke and I was on vacation, and it was horrible. And the physician, the nurse practitioner said, 1 course of antibiotics destroys your gut for an entire year. And if you're not doing anything, which most of us aren't, to heal that, then it never gets back to normalcy. So anyway, what's crazy, and I didn't realize this, is that 95% of probiotics die when they hit the stomach acid. So what we've been taking and buying all these years isn't doing anything. So ours come in these little spheres. It has a patent called BioTract that actually gets past the stomach acid at time released, and it gets the good healthy bacteria to the small and large intestine. And it works really well. Like, again, I take that at night too, just before I go to bed on an empty stomach. Some people take it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and like, you know, it just makes you poop. Like just, you know, regular, and which is good, cleaning out.
It also helps my husband with acid reflux.
Yes.
He does not have it when he takes it.
Love it. Love it, love it. So the fourth are fish oils, omegas, omega pluses, plus vitamin D3. So you guys probably know that we just consume a lot of omega-6s in our diet. Good fats and bad fats, you know, different oils that we cook with, the things that are in processed food is all omega-6s. And omega-3s and 7s come from really good cold water fatty fish that's clean. And like flaxseed and chia seeds has some, you know, plant-based omega-3s and 7s. So the imbalance of too many 6s and not enough 3s and 7s is really throwing our bodies out of whack. So a lot of physicians now are actually prescribing fish oils and omegas, and they're saying just go down to like Costco and buy your fish oils. And then you have those fish oil burps. And it occurred to me just recently, I'm thinking, okay, people are okay with fish oil burps. Like if you went to a restaurant and it had a piece of fish, and then you went home and you're burping up like rancid tasting fish, wouldn't you think, oh my God, that was a bad piece of fish? But like people take fish oils and just be like, yeah, I burp up these gross fishy burps. But my doctor says to be on fish oils. Hello, then it's not good fish. There's gross stuff in there. Lots of fillers and anyway. What is amazing about ours, and if you guys want to be challenged, I'll pay you $1. You can actually like bite into these fish oils, and it's just like it just tastes clean and you know, fishy burps, lemon lime. But it's just, there's 2 ingredients in these omegas, and it's cold water, Alaskan pollock and Norwegian cod, that's it, and some lemon lime. And they actually test it for purity, potency, and any kind of heavy metals from boat all the way to bottle. So they can actually look at the number and trace it back to the boat it was caught on. So we know it's clean and pure, and it's cold and fatty, and what it's doing is it's helping with our brain function, and our eyes, and our joints, and our skin, and our heart. So those 4, these 3, we don't have the bottle up, but it comes from the bottle or little travel packs. That's our Vitality Stack. That's what most of us are taking because they're just working synergistically in our body to really affect all of the different organs and systems and cells of our body, the Vitality Stack. And then moving on, Axio, you guys are drinking Axio. So Axio, you know, we're really just trying to get people off of crazy energy drinks, you know, Monsters and Red Bulls and Gatorades, and even, you know, coffee drinks and tea drinks that are just filled with chemicals and colorings and no nutrition, right? So, I mean, everything we should consume really should be giving us benefits, right? So Axio is a powder that you flavor with water, and what flavor was that? The dragon fruit, and it has DMAE, pine bark, quercetin, L-theanine, so it has B vitamins, so loaded with brain food and really good, clean, healthy energy. And seriously, yesterday I was driving from Winter Haven out here, and it wasn't a really interesting drive. I found it okay, but my eyelids are like, yeah, I was just getting tired. So I reached back and I grabbed my Axio, and I'm telling you, just kind of wakes you up, gives you that boost, and just clean, pure energy. And there's caffeine in one, but it's not, you know, it doesn't give you the jitters and the ups and crashes of caffeine. It just has a tiny bit, and it actually is balanced out by the L-theanine. So you can actually give kids the caffeinated one, not a big deal, but there's caffeine and non-caffeinated. I can talk 30 minutes on Axio, I won't, but they've done some studies.
Sorry, I have a crew coming in. I don't mean to interrupt. I just told them just to come in, and we'll bring them up to speed afterwards.
Okay.
Come on in.
So,
I'll have 2 of you guys. You can sit here, and 1 can sit here. Yeah.
hey.
My favorite.
So we have physicians who have done like brain mapping and studies on Nerve2 and Axio when it comes to ADD, ADHD, and autism. So really fascinating. So if that's your area of interest, just let us know and we'll get you some more information on the Axio. And then, okay, moving on to our dogs. Do you guys have pets, dogs, cats? Spend some money on them, yeah? I think the average American spends like $121 on their dogs every single month, right? And on things that, you know, are good for their joints, yeah, and their coats and things that have no studies or science or patents, right? So our Pet Tandem is our Pro Tandem, and there are 2 in a little chewable chicken flavor tablet, it's $25. And it's helping reduce their oxidative stress, gives them a shinier coat. I've seen some really great testimonials like on, you know, dogs with anxiety and even depression. I had a dog with depression, joint problems, and just some really beautiful testimonials with that. So Pet Tandem. And I don't know if you guys are like in the equine community at all. I know there's certain areas out here that are huge on equine health. But we're giving horses the human formula, just one a day and they have some really amazing results as well, like testimonials with fertility and healing and all of that. So this is just kind of a summary of our products. The Vitality Stack, those 4 I mentioned, the Pet Tandem, weight management. There's a prebiotic that's amazing that just came out a couple months ago, and you just put this tiny scoop in water. It has fiber in it, and it's like fertilizer for your gut that actually helps the probiotic. And you're supposed to drink it on an empty stomach 30 minutes before a heavy meal. It makes you feel more full, and a fat burn, and whey protein. So that's our weight management. And then we have Nerve 2 activated skincare. So again, if you think about all those conditions on the skin, like I mentioned, acne, rosacea, just issues with skin, just by taking at least like the Nerve 2, because we're talking about the skin and like anti-aging benefits. Just by feeding, you know, your body, your cells are cranking out antioxidants, your skin thrives on antioxidants. And of course, like good fish oils, and if your gut's healthy, you're going to see some amazing changes on the skin, just kind of reverse some aging, and lowered inflammation for sure. But you know, people purchase skincare products anyway. So this is Nerve 2 activated turmeric green tea, milk thistle, and the skincare is beautiful. Great for any skin type, great price point. And then lastly, our Nerve 2 activated hair care system. So shampoo, conditioner, it's helping like thicken every strand of hair, smooth it. And then the scalp serum works like on the skin on the scalp. And I'll stop talking and I'll just show you pictures. So these are photos of the Nerve 2 activated skincare, before and afters, and this is the hair system. So I don't know if you can see this, but she's 28, my friend Erica, and she was diagnosed with alopecia, and then she had 2 twin baby boys. So she's losing her hair like crazy. They're 10 months old now. She went to go have an appointment to get hair plugs, and she saw a post of mine, because that's me right there. But she saw a post of mine, so she got on the hair system, and this is like 5 weeks. Her hair started growing, and she had to.
There's a lot of guys that love the hair care because their hair is falling out and it's crazy. It's like better than Rogaine.
Yeah, they tested it against Rogaine, and Rogaine has a ton of chemicals. So our hair care and our skincare are totally clean. No chemicals. On the Think Dirty app, they score like a 1 to a 2. And clean for the environment. And what's really cool is this young generation coming on board, they care about clean products. They're looking for things that are clean, clean for the environment, no chemicals. So it's really, really cool we have that. So yeah, like people are becoming sick and tired of being sick and tired. So they're looking and searching for these very things. It's really exciting. And have they heard your story, your testimonial? This is usually where we pause and kind of share some stories.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
So, I'm Sherry. Thanks for coming. So my story started like 23 years ago. So I have 3 kids. They're 23, 20, and 19. Well, Brian knows my story. So my kids are 23, 19, and 20. And so I went in the Army after high school because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And after I had my son, I got really depressed, and I went to the doctor, and they misdiagnosed me and told me that I was bipolar, because when you go to the doctor, they always say to you, well, what's your family history? And mine's like a hot mess. So when I got done telling them about my family, they're like, oh, you're bipolar. So they put me on a ton of medication. So for 23 years, I was on 12 medications a day. And then 8 years ago, I was in a back-to-back car accident. So I was on 4 pain pills on top of the 12 pills a day. So I didn't know if I was coming or going. I literally had to take a pill to help me eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, be intimate, be happy, be a mom, just function with life. And about, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, I lost my memory completely. So when I went to the doctor for my follow-up, I said, you know, I have no memory. And they said, well, that's a side effect to one of your medications. And I thought, well, I can't be without the medication because then I'm civil. So I'll just, was like Drew Barrymore from 50 First Dates. So I saw a post from Christy that she posted, and I've never really been into like health and wellness. I'd go to Starbucks twice a day, and I just, you know, I was busy running a mortgage company, which I've done for 17 years. So I spent 17 years making a living that I didn't have a life. So anything I could do to get through the day is what I did. So when she posted about just the yellow pill at the time, I thought if I could just get the memory back, that would be great for me. So the products changed my life. It's been over 2 years, so fast forward, 2 years and 4 months. I have not had a pain pill. I have not had coffee. I have not had ibuprofen. I've been off of all my antidepressants. It literally, I tell people it's like a euphoric high because I don't really know how to say it until you get on the products. So all of my years that I've been raising my children, I've had an incredible life, making, you know, $15,000, $20,000 a month, but I did not have a life. Not only was I dying inside, but I just was working myself to death. So I saw the business opportunity and I thought, oh my God, if I could weave this in and out of my life, so many people, even though they look good on the outside, you don't know what's going on inside. And my daughter, who is 20, suffered a lot of the same things, depression, weight gain, she just wasn't happy, and she cannot go without the products. So we're attracting a ton of people, and I'm just so excited to be able to share it with you guys, because the products are backed by science, and I know you guys missed the beginning, we'll bring you up to speed, but that to me was important. And then the fact that there's an opportunity to build my own legacy and not work the hours I was working and have a 2 to 5 year plan, I was like, okay, this is like exactly what I've been looking for. So that's why Christy came all the way from Colorado to do the presentations over the next couple of days. So I thank Christy every day. Thank you.
Thank you every day, and yeah, you are definitely aging better. Is there anybody else that wants to share like product testimony? You don't have to, but there's some that bring us to tears. It's really good. But it's a real deal. And again, it's not magic. It's not, you know, we can't say that this cures or treats or mitigates disease because it's not a drug. It's just activating our own body's natural, like I said, healing and defense mechanisms. Your body's working more optimally. And what we can legally say, and it's so true, 9 out of 10 of our customers since 2009, since they've been tracking it, are feeling less aches and pains, increased energy, better mood, deeper sleep, increased athletic performance and recovery. We've noticed that my husband's 58, yeah, huge. It's huge. What else? You know, just like, migraines, and then we're getting into disease there for sure. So we're going to talk just a little bit about the opportunity, and this is why. Because we need a lot more people sharing, because this is really life-changing for people. It's helping them give a quality of life, and we're doing our best to get out there. But because I said yes, Sherry said yes, and you know, she's opened up this community with people, and it's so fun. We just need more people, that's all. 90% of our business is all customer-based, which is awesome. And every once in a while we talk to somebody, you know, so if it's not for you, you might just think of people in your life that you might know who would love to just join us and be a part of this wellness movement. So I'm going to give you just some information on it. And if you think about, like, our world has seriously changed, right? Technology has changed everything. The way we do business, you know, everyone's plugged in and tuned in, and you would think that this would kind of make our lives easier, and you know, people would be able to work like more remotely and have a little bit more freedom. But really, what's happening is people are stressed out more than ever because they're losing their jobs to technology. As a matter of fact, this last statistic here says 40% of all jobs will be replaced by technology in the next 15 to 20 years. I just saw this on 60 Minutes like 2 months ago. I had to throw that on a slide. That's ridiculous. Like, do people understand that? And are people prepared for that? Are our kids prepared for it? 40% of all jobs replaced by technology. What's your plan B? 1 in 3 Americans right now have less than $5,000 in savings. 78% have no savings at all, and 43% of Americans spend more than they make, right? Everyone's on credit cards. So that's just real life statistics there. So, we have a legitimate business in nutrigenomics. Remember I told you about nutrigenomics, and in 4 years it's going to grow to over $17 billion. So we have an amazing business in nutrigenomics, and it doesn't cost us a dime. Our own products, whatever products we want to take, and that's it. So let's talk about network marketing. Let's just talk about that here for a minute, because that's obviously what we're in. And network marketing, in the 5 years I've been involved in it, it's changed. It doesn't have that stigma. I think 5 years ago when I first started, there was a little bit of a stigma. I had to get past that. Is this a pyramid scheme conversation? But now, like, all of a sudden it's shifted, and Forbes, I was reading something that Forbes sent me just last week, saying that like the top 5 things to give you more time freedom with less risk, network marketing was in there. So people are actually looking for different companies, but they don't really know what to look for. So I joined 5 years ago with another company because I lost my medical clinic to a failed partnership, and it was a skincare ground floor opportunity. And so I jumped in that with some friends, and Sherry was actually with me, and it was a fun ride. But I needed to make it work. So I, within 9 months, was making 6 figures with this. So I learned how to do it as a profession. Fell in love with it because we could help people, earn cars and all sorts of fun things. So 2.5 years into that, I'm like, I've got to get back into really like quality of life and what's going on the inside. So and then within 17 months, I started earning 6 figures here. So that's it. What's really cool, and I can see it in our business, is that 30% of all, if you look at all the network marketing companies in the U.S., 37% are millennials coming on board. 34% are Gen X, and 27% are baby boomers. So, we've got these young kids coming on board. They're like, I don't want to work like my parents, checking in, checking out, working 40 for 50 years, and for what? They don't have enough money to go travel or do what they want to do. They have no money in the bank. They have to do something extra anyway. And we got people like me who was like nearing 50, had this business going, thinking that was my ticket, and I lost it and had no money in savings, and we were needed to work towards retirement and time freedom. So $76 billion was paid out to distributors in 2017. So this it's not going anywhere.
Besides athletes. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so, they're legit, they're not going anywhere. And, another thing to look for is that, you think products are everything, but it's actually timing. You can have the best products in the whole wide world, but if you don't have the right corporate team, if you're not positioned just properly, it doesn't really matter. So timing is actually number one. That's why it's half of this chart. And, just like traditional businesses, a lot of network marketing companies fail within the first 3 to 5 years. So if they make it, so this is like if it's a startup, that's what Sherry and I were in, that's no longer around, and it lasted 2.5 years.
And that was your very first company. Never did network marketing before. Chrissy never did this business. And when she said she made that money, it was ridiculous. We won a car, had a brand new Mercedes. Like, we literally were like, this is it. But
It was awesome, then it failed.
Yeah.
Just like in a lot of other businesses, right? So you've got startups, we don't want that. You go through growing pains, and if you make it past that 3 to 5 years and you've got more growing pains, you hire the right corporate team, and then if it makes it here, with 150,000 distributors per country, you're going to hit critical mass. This is where 80% of the growth happens, and this is where 80% of the wealth is created. Then it becomes a legacy company like Amway, Mary Kay, Herbalife. It becomes a household name, and yes, you can make money here, but it grows about 1 to 2% right here. So if you join here, you're getting paid out 1 to 2%, and you're sharing it with over 150,000 distributors. But if you're here, you're getting 80% of all the growth sharing amongst 150,000 distributors. So right now, it's LifeVantage, we're 80,000 worldwide. So like, we're publicly traded, so you can actually see, we're transparent, you can see the numbers, and we're just about reaching this critical mass. So anyone who's in with us and coming on board, this is the time to do it. It's really exciting. We're already starting to feel momentum in our business. Okay, then moving on to the product itself. You want something that's like a monthly consumable, which we have. You want high retention rate. 83% of all customers order at least once every 90 days. 68% of distributors order at least once every 90 days. This has been since 2009 just on Protandim. So then you add in all of these other products and skincare and hair care, there's people ordering constantly all the time. So that's your residual income. Affordable, totally great price point, and products that are addressing all the concerns out there that we're hearing about: gut health, hair, skin. And we're so far ahead of the game in nutrigenomics, we've already talked about that. And then we're in a $500 billion wellness category, like the fastest growing segment in network marketing. And we've got products in anti-aging, right, the stuff, skin care, pet care, hair care, weight loss, and energy. So we're kind of tapping into all of those segments, which is awesome. And all we're doing, you guys, like it really is pretty simple. Like all we're doing is we're talking to people, everyone we're talking to, they're already spending money for vitamins and supplements and over-the-counter pain medications and sleeping aids and energy drinks and hair care and skin care and pet care, right? They're purchasing it anyway, and where are they purchasing it now? Online. Because 5,300 retail shops are closing this year in 2019. And some of those are vitamin shops and GNCs, right? So they're going online to purchase all the stuff. They want it drop shipped to their door. They want convenience, and that's what we have. Like we have, and this is our online portal. It works just like Amazon. We can drop products in the shopping cart, send them links. It generates reports for us, and it doesn't cost us anything. That's it. And so we're just reallocating the dollar already spent. Compensation plan, we're paid monthly, weekly. We get a certain percentage. When you reach my rank, you get a certain percentage of all global sales. So that piece of it alone is like $1,400, just that piece.
So she doesn't like to brag on herself, so I just want to say something. So Chrissy's a Pro 7, I'm a Pro 5, Carolyn's a Pro 3. When you get to a Pro 7 with the company, it's like a big deal when you get like either a brand new car or $25,000, and she just got that, and I was like, it took her how long till you made Pro 7? A year and
12 months.
12 months.
Mm-hmm.
12 months.
Oh wait, 17 months. Get there.
To make
And
that
then,
person. So it's like $140,000 a year income on top of that. So the money is there, and it's so rewarding because you're helping people get healthy on top of it. And she doesn't like to talk, but she just breezes over that part. I'm like, that is like a really big deal. I mean, a lot of people, it would change a lot of people's lives, a couple $100 a month, let alone, something like that. So, I mean, that's huge. Congratulations. Yeah, she's just like, oh, no big deal.
Well, and if I can do it, anyone can do it. I mean, it takes motivation and drive, for sure. But, I mean, we're leading with our hearts. It's not about the money. It's like when I'm talking with someone and they're talking about gut health, or they're talking about acid reflux or energy or weight gain, it's like I just want people to feel better. I really do. So if you're just leading with your heart, the money follows for sure. So to get started, like when I owned a wellness clinic, it was tens of thousands of dollars, and just to have a website going, it was thousands of dollars, and to keep it going, and it's $1,250 to start your own business. It's the most expensive way to get started, and you are saving 32% on all of the products, and you get your family going on the products. Is what I did. My husband, my daughter. I had some products as incentives, and you can consume them for about 5 to 6 months, and then I just had a $40 order because that's just the minimum to keep going after that. But with this, you get a conference ticket. If you're going to take this seriously, you're going to go to conference, and you get as soon as you get 3 distributors who want to join you, and they come in the Platinum Pack, you get paid $400 for each of those distributors, and you get your money back just like that. Now, after that, it's icing on the cake. So I did that in 2 weeks. Found 3 people who wanted to do it with me. To get your money back, like from customers, these Vitality Stacks, you're getting paid $50 on each initial order of a Vitality Stack. So 3 customers, you get $50 each. That's paying for your Vitality Stack. And then this is just a snapshot of our comp plan. We can go over that with you if you're interested. And it's very fair, it's very lucrative. It's one of the most lucrative out there, seriously. And that's it. This is just a snapshot of our team. And we've got teachers and mortgage brokers and people in the health industry and realtors and shop owners and truck drivers and
Do you feel that we're attracting the younger? Because I know in Colorado you have a lot of younger people. That's why I had Mike. He was so interested.
Oh,
in the accident. I think it's the technology, the Instagram, the Facebook, those, because that's how we're growing the business. Most of the people that are your age. So when we share this with them, they're like, oh, I'm already doing that. I'm already like on social media.
Yeah.
And so I feel like as we meet on a Zoom, which even though you're in Colorado, we still meet every week on Zoom, and we talk about different scenarios, and we've literally seen 21, 22, 23-year-old people just growing in this business. It's just incredible. Are you still recording?
Yeah.